Galaxy Universal Network, inspiring Africa, making global impact.
Watinta bafazi, watinta imbogoto. Now, a saying that is used to honor all the phenomenal women in the world. Happy Women's Day to every incredible woman out there. We'd like to say we appreciate you, we love you, and we cherish you. Good morning. This is Galaxy Good News right here on Galaxy Universal Network, Channel 500 on Starset. And today, oh my gosh, today I am honored with the beautiful presence of Rose Tre. Sorry, I'm even messing up your surname. I am, your presence is already just getting me so nervous. But we're going to get more into an interview with her, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about what she does, So on today's headlines, right, we have a 9-year-old boy who swapped his gifts to actually save birds. He asked for donations instead of prezzies for his birthday. We're going to get that in the first story for the day. And then the second story is that a 1.7 million pedestrian pathway project in the coastal resort town of St. Francis Bay has helped in reducing the crime rates. And of course, as we are still celebrating Women's Month this month, we have our beautiful guest Rose who's going to be telling us her story about being a plus-size model and a voiceover artist. But let me just, introduce you. Let's just get into say hi to the viewers, please, and just.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Rory. It's so amazing to be here on this day as well, Women's Day. So it's just such an honor also to be a woman in today's day and age. So I'm really happy to be here to share the good news.
Oh my gosh, because I really feel like, this platform is just to share all those positive stories that people never really tap into. We're so consumed with negativity, we always hear about crime, murders here and there, and I mean even during now with the coronavirus pandemic that we faced,
a lot of people don't have good news to share, so it's an amazing platform.
So I really love doing this.
Thank you.
So moving on into the first story now of a 9-year-old Romario Valentine from Umhlanga, Durban, who has dreams of one day becoming a scientist, spends most of his time by cleaning up his local beach once a week and raising awareness around the dangers of pollution. Now, by frequently visiting the Umgeni River, a bird park, which is home to over 800 birds from 200 species, Romero developed a passion for birds and protecting endangered species. Now, Romero says that he enjoys going to the bird park because he loves seeing the amazing birds and, of course, the beautiful waterfall there. And after learning that Umgeni River Bird Park is in strain due to COVID-19, the 9-year-old asked his mom if she could help him set up a fundraiser to support the reserve, as they are temporarily closed and unable to fundraise during this uncertain time. Now, and instead of gifts for his 9th birthday, which was on the 26th of July, Romero set up a campaign on donations-based crowdfunding platform BackaBuddy to raise 15,000 Rand to support the Umgeni River Bird Parks to inspire to conserve program to protect all the endangered birds. And his campaign went live on the 6th of July this year and has thus far raised a total of 12,213 Rand with contributions from about 50 donors. Now, here's what the boy had to say about this.
Hello everyone, it's my birthday. Thank you for your support on Umgeni Bird Park campaign. We have all raised 20,000 Rand. Thank you, Mom and Dad and everyone.
How beautiful is that, being so young and just giving back,
It's so amazing, and it's beautiful to see that kids are getting younger and younger in understanding to give back. So it's really incredible to see.
So talking about being young, right? I want you to tell us rather, what kind of childhood did you have?
So, I was raised with love. I really was. It was unfortunate that I lost my dad when I was 4 years old. And, my mother really struggled with that. But, we just kept pushing through. I think the love just kept us going. And then my brother joined us a few years later. So that was also quite a busy time. But it was just an incredible time for us to, to kind of just be together. It really brought us much closer together. And we've always just been now the three of us. So, but my childhood was, you know, and crossing over into high school and into primary school, you know, struggled a little bit with my confidence and a little bit with mental health because of feeling alone and that kind of thing. But it was really just a journey that just kind of was a little bit mixed, but really has brought me to this point.
So do you think that did you have the confidence that you have now when you were younger, or did you have like some struggling issues?
I did not have the confidence that I had now. You know, I wasn't a very expressive person. You know, like I said, I think with my dad leaving us, my mother really did struggle, and I had to kind of fend for myself and had to kind of raise myself, you know, not in a bad way, but just because of how the situation was. And I felt really, really alone, and I felt very self-conscious about my body. I was bigger than the other kids, taller than the other kids, you know, but I just didn't have a voice. And it's just been an amazing journey to get to a point where to be a voice and to have a voice.
So did you experience any form of bullying maybe during your younger years?
Oh, 100%. You know, primary was tough. High school was even tougher. I've been called all kinds of names, you know, big, giant, elephant, big mama, all kinds of things. So it was quite uphill, but you know, the thing about going uphill is that you're getting stronger. You know, so yeah, I did experience bullying, and I really, that's what, you know, brought me to now to kind of have a voice and to be a voice for people.
So I want to know what was happening to you at that time, you know, when you're experiencing the bullying. What did it do to your self-confidence, you know, and your self-esteem?
You know, I think, like I said, because I was already bigger than the other kids, taller, so I already felt different, and the kids just kind of pointed it out. So it, you know, whatever little bit of confidence that I was trying to have was always kind of squashed down. And we know how tough it is, you know, in schools. Children are truthful, to say the least.
Yeah, no, they don't hide.
Brutally truthful. And so it was just whatever little confidence that I had was always continuously, you know, squashed down, and I had to just fight through it for myself, and I didn't know how, and I just kind of had to learn the mechanisms as I was growing.
So, like, what are some of the defense mechanisms that, you know, came about during that time?
Yeah, like I said, I think my issue as well was that I wasn't an expressive child, so I would just shut down and I would zone out, and it was like I wasn't even there. So I wouldn't speak that much, but when I got home, I used to speak to myself. So I would sit in the mirror and sort of do a debrief of my day and be like, oh, remember when this and this said this? And then
you're probably like, I should have said this instead of that, right?
I'll say it tomorrow, but I won't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where I developed that thing, and then the mirror kind of became my friend. But, you know, I just would tell stories to myself, and I think that's where then the love of being an advocate and being a voice kind of came about, because continuously talking to myself, telling my stories, and just kind of loving sort of the person that I see. But it was a really long journey. Yeah.
So I want to know, the person that you saw in the mirror, when you looked in the mirror, did you see the person that everybody's talking about and says you are, or did you see you for who you really are?
For the longest time, I saw the person that they said I was. And my mission at that time was to tell that person to just keep fighting through. Because I didn't know how to tell her to be beautiful. I didn't know how to tell her to stand up for herself, because I didn't know how to. I just kept telling her, don't worry about it. We're going to make it through tomorrow. We're going to make it through tomorrow. And, you know, and it was really just, I think that would have been the toughest thing, to not be able to see myself different to how people see me. I didn't like to take pictures, because, you know, people would be like, oh, no, it's an okay picture. And I would look at myself and I would just see myself occupying the whole space. And so it was just a matter of just telling myself, or that person in the mirror, to just make it through the next day.
All right. Yeah. Now we spoke about your childhood. Now we're just going to talk about your transition period, right? But before we get into that, I just want to get into the next story of the day. Now there is a 1.7 million rand pedestrian pathway project in the coastal resort town of St. Francis Bay, which has helped in reducing incidences of crime on residents walking to and from work. And at the same time, it helped in upskilling previously unemployed youths and women from the area. Now, the need for the 800-meter engineered pathway, which also features CCTV, lighting, landscaping, and mosaic art, was identified by the Cougar Wind Farm Community Development Trust, which is an industrial development corporation. Now, the project manager, Nigel, said the need for a pathway was identified at a police sector meeting where problems with the informal pathway were highlighted, such as it was dangerous, and not only because people were being mugged, but also because the path got muddy when it rained and people would slip. Now, as part of the project's aim to harness local talent, a civil engineering student, Lisedi Marota, was appointed as the trainee project manager. And the project also helped people of the community to acquire technical skills and also helped upskill local women by teaching them how to create mosaic art based on the winning design submitted by the local children. Now, it's beautiful to see that, you know, they used art, you know, they actually invested in the safety of the community as a whole, you know. And also included the community in the whole thing. I think it's very important that, you know, we mustn't just be a community just by the word community. Sure. You know, we must live community. So it's really cool. So talking about pathways, right? I need you to tell me a little bit about how you transitioned now from your childhood to becoming this Rose that we know today. So, you know, it took some time. Like I said, it's a long journey. It's not a perfect journey to this day, you know, it has its struggles. But, you know, so I started working straight out of high school. I didn't go to tertiary at all. Just because of making a decision to just be a financial help to my mom. You know, she worked all by herself all these years, and so it was just important for me to kind of just give her a break. That's how I looked at it. I did get to a point though when I was around 26, my age. I got to a point and I'd always wanted to travel, and so I quit my job and I decided to become an au pair. In America, and so I did that. Had the time of my life. I was living with a beautiful family, an African-American family actually, and I was taking care of 4 kids. So I had a range from teenagers to toddlers. It was just I was just doing the most. So, and then I came home after that and I wanted to just kind of transfer all that I learned and just have everybody learn about the culture and all of that. But I decided to travel again. So I went back and I traveled to Canada and also doing the same thing kind of. And it was in these travels where I was kind of discovering myself, because I was traveling alone. And I was in a country where nobody knew me. So nobody knew what my mother looked like, and nobody knew what my aunties looked like, because, you know, there's always that thing, you know, in African families, you know, when you're like, how? You're so big, but your mom is so small, and you know, oh, you look like you're this, you're that. And it had always bothered me. And so, you know, with the travels, I was finding myself, and I really then started to look, and I was getting told over and over how beautiful I am, how strong of a voice I have, and how, you know, confident I am. And it really started to build me a little bit. And so the conversations in the mirror kind of changed now, because now I was starting to see myself as the person that I wanted to be. And then I started to do the research, and I found that the plus-size modeling industry in America was actually a little bit more open. I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest. And so I started just looking, and when I was in Canada, I actually got scouted by a plus-size model agency. And that was really the turnaround point, and that was really the crossover from who people were saying I was to who I actually want to be. I think it's actually beautiful that, you know, being away from home actually helped you discover that who you were is actually beautiful, and there's a market for it. Because had you stayed home, you probably would have still believed, you know, that, you know, you're fat and you can't amount to anything. And honestly, you know, I think it's just a change in environment is actually so important. But also just, and you need an advocate, or you need a voice. And I think my biggest thing has been to teach myself to listen to my own voice, because there's so many voices, just like you're saying, oh, you're fat, lose some weight, and then do this, you do that. And you just need to find your voice, and then shut out all the other voices and just find you. I really want us to talk about how you actually did it, how you found your voice.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to get into it, you
Okay.
know, when we touch the Miss SA Top 10 story, you know, and you're
Right.
going to tell us more about your journey in being a plus size model,
Yeah.
right? But do come back with us right here on Galaxy Good News. If you've got any inspirational stories, positive stories you'd like to share with us, please go on all our social media platforms. It is at Galaxy Universal Network. We'll be back with more from Rose. Stay tuned. How does one deal with pressure from family to become something they are not?
So just tying back to what I just said,
Yeah.
is that you have to be okay with you. You know, before you try and convince people to accept you for the way you are, you have to be happy with the way you are. So you're not going to be, I feel like we always feel like there's pressure just because we're not happy with who we are. Because you're thinking, I need to look a certain way, I need to feel a certain way, I need to dress a certain way. So until you are okay with you, there won't be any pressure, because then you're just going to be flowing with how you are going to, you know, carry yourself and in your life. And, you know, and not just about how you look, but just about everything that you do, from work, relationships, friendships.
Galaxy Universal Network, inspiring Africa, making global impact.
Tech Talk brought to you by Tamani Technologies and Systems. Tamani Technologies and Systems takes leadership in fourth industrial revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. Tamani Technologies and Systems, delivering value across continents.
Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful! This is exactly what I was looking for! DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you know, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat.
Galaxy Universal Network, inspiring Africa, making global impact.
Welcome back. This is still Galaxy Good News right here on Galaxy Universal Network, channel 500 on StarSat. On this beautiful Women's Day, we are celebrating all the phenomenal women out there. We appreciate and we love you. Now, moving on into the last story on the bulletin, but then we're going to get into the conversation properly, because I really want us to talk about all the incredible things that you are doing, right? So the Miss South African pageant, you know, announced the top 10, right? And it is a mixture of different women. Now we've got, let me just go through the story properly. You know, I'm really wanting to just, but anyway, okay. So the Miss South Africa pageant will for the first time have 3 representatives for the 3 biggest pageants in the world. Now, in addition to the representations for Miss Universe and Miss World, one of the top 3 will be a candidate for Miss Supranational. Now, Miss SA Organization Chief Executive Stephanie Whale said that adding to the Miss Supranational, this will offer more visibility internationally, and as the platform talks to the organization's atheists and who they are. Now, the top 10 finalists who were announced on Wednesday represent 6 provinces, being Gauteng, the Eastern Cape, KZN, Western Cape, Limpopo, and the Northwest. Now, the impressive group includes 2 medical doctors, which are on the COVID-19 frontline, 2 full-time international models, as well as a marketing, education, and economics graduates, and a food scientist.
Wow.
Amazing.
Amazing. Amazing to see women multitasking the way they are, just showing just the different facets and the different elements of women and levels of women that we can be.
So talking about pageants and modeling,
yeah.
You are a plus size model, you know. Just tell us a little bit more about what a plus size model is.
So a plus size model is what would be a model by non-definition. I think we've all understood models to be petite people,
yes.
And so to be a plus size model is actually quite an amazing journey, because you still get to be yourself. You still have to stay healthy. So it's not like calories on calories and now you're going crazy. You still have to look after yourself, but you don't have to change yourself, and it's just a full representation of women, because not all women are size 26 and size 28. A lot of women actually size 38 and above. And so to be a plus size model is to really just to be a face that women can identify with as looking like them. So I really, really enjoy that element of being a plus size model, to just be a person that you see looks like you. Yeah.
So how did you get into it, you know, and how can other people get into this plus size modeling?
Yeah, so just as I was saying, is that I just did some research to just find out what do I need, because even when I was thinking about being a plus size model, I still did feel like maybe I do need to lose some weight, but I got there and they said no, just the way you are, really. And I was fortunate enough, when I came back home from Canada, I was scouted by one of the biggest modeling agencies, Boss Models. So I'm actually represented by Boss Models. They have been so amazing through this whole journey, just holding my hand and really just propelling me to where I was, because my modeling sort of career, as short as it's been, and it's really small, and there have been amazing plus size models in the industry that the light hasn't shined enough on them. But I was fortunate enough, within 4 months of being scouted, I was chosen to walk at SA Fashion Week.
I mean, wow.
Which, to this day, I still don't know how that happened.
You probably still picture that.
I do. When I watch the videos, I am still feeling like it was such an unreal thing. And, for me, that was a long-term goal. And I was still not even sure how to go about that goal. But I'd always told myself that one day I'll walk in someone's fashion week, whether it's South Africa or America's, I don't know, but I'll walk.
Runway.
And so to just be chosen, and I was working for an amazing designer, Isabel de Villiers, who really, she held my hand through. She gave me my first gig, and I did her online lookbook, and so I walked for her in Fashion Week, and it's just been amazing. And the biggest reward of it is to have younger women, my cousins, my nieces, my little sisters around me from church, from wherever, who are able to look up to me and see, that, they look like me and they can still feel beautiful. So it's really been amazing.
It's really so amazing, like you say, we're always just used to models who are being petite, there's a certain look, right? And now you are changing the narrative, it's like you are still beautiful in any form or shape,
color that you are.
You are just beautiful, just the way that you are. And I think it's a beautiful topic that we are touching on, especially today on Women's Day, because I feel like as women sometimes we face a lot of internal battles, and necessarily it's not even because we're not worthy enough, but we see the next person and we don't even know what the next person is going through.
We are so busy comparing ourselves.
Unfortunately.
I see you wearing a red dress. If I buy the same red dress, it's not going to sit the same on me. And red might not be my color. Maybe my color is blue. But we miss out on opportunities to love ourselves and to appreciate ourselves because of always trying to compare ourselves.
Someone else.
Yeah.
Now, talking about something very dear to your heart.
Yes.
Pretty thick lifestyle.
Yes.
Like, tell me more. What's that all about?
So the Pretty Thick lifestyle or Pretty Thick movement has always been something that was close to my heart. During my transitioning period of looking in the mirror and loving myself and seeing myself for the person that I am and beautiful just the way I am, I had always wanted, you know, touching back into my childhood stories, that I didn't feel like I had someone to advocate for me or to be that voice to say, listen, you're beautiful just the way you are. Don't change yourself, love yourself just the way you are. And so the movement is really just about that. I just want to be that one person that can be a voice to that next young woman, young girl to say, you're beautiful just the way you are. If you want to lose weight, lose it because you want to. Not because society says so, not because your family says so. If it's a health issue, do it. But if there's nothing that's going to kill you because of your weight, appreciate yourself and embrace yourself. Because I find that a lot of young women, and myself included, if I lose weight, I can only lose it up to a certain point. So I cannot lose weight until I'm a matchstick.
No,
I will lose weight until I'm a candle. But I have lost weight nonetheless. But it is about embracing myself, because the matchstick has a job and so does the candle. So it's really just about being a voice and being the person that's going to just advocate and mentor them into loving and embracing themselves. So that's what the lifestyle is about. It's really just, and not just for big girls, you know, even for little girls and even for boys as well. It's just really about finding the voice of, you know, the true you.
So what platforms do you use, you know, for your
I use all social media platforms. I started a YouTube channel as well, which will continue to grow. But my true love, my dear, is my podcast. You know, I was fortunate enough, I think, once you start to embrace sort of your journey, things sort of start to fall in place, you know. I was offered the opportunity to start the podcast, and I had not really thought about it. A lot of these things I didn't really think about. It was just a journey to just love myself and now to be a voice as well. So on the podcast, I focus a lot on assisting young women and girls and also boys in body confidence issues, body image issues, self-confidence and all of that. But also trying to focus on mental health as well, because a lot of it it taps into the mental health of it, because I did fall into a depression because of how I was feeling, because of being bullied, not being able to express myself. So it's a really just a mixture. I'm trying to create a really broad platform where they can access me and talk to me and access each other and really try to build a community of building each other up.
And how has the journey been, you know, since you've started? Are you receiving like positive feedback from it?
Oh my gosh, the feedback has been so amazing. I think we really take advantage, or we really don't understand the full depth of the work that you do and the sort of how far your voice is going. And so, you know, for a lot of the things, I just, you know, for a lot of the time I wasn't sure. I just thought, let me just do it, even if one person hears me, but then 10 people heard me, and then 100 people, and then so now it's really it's growing, and it's been amazing feedback to hear also. It's a little bit of both, because then it's sad. Then I realized just how many girls are suffering. But then it's just an opportunity to just turn that around, to not be a generation of depressed women and, you know, low self-confidence, but to really just turn it around.
I really love, you know, the platform that you are providing, because sometimes people don't know they're going through the same things, right? People probably think that, no, I'm going through this by myself. It's in their head. And actually to hear someone else who says, I've been through this, I'm going through this, you know, and I can do this, because I feel like a lot of times people are scared to talk. People they can't find their voices like you 100%. Have, you know, and they need someone to actually just hold their hands and be like, you know what,
and even those that have found their voice or are trying to find their voice, there's no platform. And there's nobody to share it with, because, you know, if you and I are friends, I can't really complain the same to you. I'm tall, you're a little bit shorter, you know, bigger, you're petite. So it's difficult for me to try and open up to you because we can't relate to each other. So it's really just about, like I said, creating that community where we can all relate to each other.
And what advice right now would you give to all the, little children that was maybe rose back in the day who are suffering from insecurities, who are being bullied? What advice would you give them, knowing what you know today?
I would really just say, embrace yourself. Embrace yourself just the way you are. You are beautiful, first of all. You are beautiful, and embrace yourself just the way you are. God made you in this beautiful, amazing image, and just embrace that. And once you embrace that, you're able to, once you find your own voice, you give that back to the world, and they won't have a chance to reject it because it's who you are. So don't compare yourself to anybody else as well. Don't do that, because that is probably one of the worst things to do. So if you have friends, that's fine, but don't compare yourself to anybody else, but really just embrace yourself and love yourself.
And I really think it's not just advice to just younger girls, but women in general, because as we grow and we progress in life, our friends and our families progress, and sometimes they get things before we do, but we need to just embrace our journeys, because we are all individuals. We have different stories to tell. Our journeys will never be the same.
They won't.
And I really think we also need to learn as women to embrace each other. I think most of the time we find women bashing each other, and I think that's the saddest thing to ever experience.
It really, really is. So I have an episode on my podcast coming up on why the girl hate. And I'm trying to shine a different light on it. And I actually said that, we're busy focusing on why do women hate each other. But I really want us to say, why should we stop hating on each other? And just kind of build on that and just be a community of women that inspire each other, because, your journey is different from mine. You graduated, amazing. And I haven't just yet. Just yet, because everything is timing. And it didn't mean that I can't just go to school just because you went to school. My journey might not be that way.
Right? During the time I went to school, you were traveling. You got to experience the world. I haven't, you see. So, I mean, just like I said, embrace.
And there's no way that you could then dislike that and I could dislike that, because we were at different times and we continue to be at different times and are on completely different journeys.
Amazing. I really wish we could have more
time.
And there's just so much that we still need to talk about. Hopefully we can have you back here, then
I would love that.
And then we can maybe talk about your podcast, the different topics, because you touch on different topics, like you said, not just about being thick.
I love it.
We talk about mental health. So definitely we should make this another date again soon.
We will. It's a date. It's a date.
So just tell everyone where to get a hold of you and where they can have a listen to your podcast.
Sure. So on Instagram and Twitter, I am at Miss Rose MC. On Facebook, I am Rose Chweu, Choeu. It's the color white in Sibedi. And on YouTube, it's Pretty Thick, one word, Pretty Thick Rose. And my podcast is called The Pretty Thick Lifestyle, and I would love for everybody to join me and be part of our beautiful, inspiring community.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your Women's Day.
I just want to say that I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you and the woman that you've become and the woman that you're becoming, and happy Women's Day to you too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're getting really emotional before I start crying. Thank you so much for joining us on Galaxy Good News right here on Galaxy Universal Network. Now, like I said, if you've got any inspirational stories you'd like to share with us, do let us know and we will feature it right here. Do catch me again, same time, same place in the next 2 weeks. From myself, Rorisangwana Hatswani, and the rest of their team. And I'm not going to just leave you like that. Here's a feel-good video for you to close off. Goodbye.
Galaxy Universal Network, inspiring